Yep. Give me a nod when you're ready.
Like
Shooter's ready. Stand by.
Hello everybody, my name's Gunnery Sergeant Matt Gundlach. I'm joined here with Captain Chris Scott.
Hey, how's it going?
And we're going to just kind of go in detail about who we are, how we got to the team, all that kind of stuff. So, by trade, I am an 0369 infantry unit leader. I'm an infantryman by trade, did some time with mortars, did some time as a rifleman, a lot of time as a rifleman. I spent time at SOI as an instructor there. After I left SOI, did a few deployments, came from Task Force 515, and now here I am on the Marine Corps shooting team. I've been on the team for roughly 3.5 years. And plan on retiring next year from the team. Sir, can you kind of describe yourself a bit?
Yeah, so I'm Captain Chris Scott. I'm a military policeman by trade. I was at the recruit depot in San Diego, the Marine Corps recruit depot San Diego, before I came here. That was my first duty station, so patrolling the main streets there. And then I got involved in the military and civilian competitive shooting worlds. While I was out there, they had a pretty active team, so I had some interaction with the big Marine Corps shooting team. I did a summer season here, and then when my time was up there as a lieutenant, I came over to the team. There was an opening, and so I've been on the team coming up on 3 years now. I'm the OIC of the pistol and the action shooting team, and looking to next summer I'll be transitioning out of the Marine Corps. And on to other things. So I got about a year left.
So you and I, we've kind of had very different upbringings on how we got to the team. Mm-hmm. Me specifically, whenever I went out to Bahrain, the Task Force 515, let me back up a little bit. So whenever I just came back from a B-Surf deployment over in Romania, I knew I was going to go shoot the F&H 3-gun championship. Awesome match. Wish it was still going on.
Yeah, it was a great match.
Which we didn't know each other at the time, but we shot the match together.
Yeah.
And here we are. So shot that match. It was up at Peacemaker National Training Center, which is probably one of the best ranges here on the East Coast. You have a blend of base stages and long range, and you can do a lot of jungle runs. Really cool place. Well,
out in West Virginia there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shot that match, and that's kind of where I met the Marine Corps shooting team. I didn't even know a team existed until like 2013, 2014, when I saw Sergeant James Gill, on 3-Gun Nation on TV on the Outdoor Channel. So that was like really the first exposure. Saw that, was like, holy shit, this is something I can do to better prepare my Marines and becoming more lethal and increasing their skills in marksmanship. So I met the team there, kind of kept in contact with Nate Stocking, who was a staff NCOIC at the time. And when I went out to Bahrain, he hit me up and he was like, hey man, I need a replacement here on the team. Do you want to take it? Well, I told him, let me get back to you. I was in the mindset back then of I want to keep deploying over and over and over again until my monitor told me you're not going on any more deployments. Pick somewhere there you don't have to go away from home. And so told him, well, this is what I want to do. And, here I am. How was it for you coming to the team?
Yeah, so I think kind of one common thing we have is Sergeant James Gill, now just James Gill. I remember being TBS, and we'd be hiking to the range. Here I am telling TBS stories. But we'd hike to the range each morning, And part of that, we'd actually walk past the shooting team office. And so it's kind of funny now I sit here and I watch him walk by. I remember seeing Marine Corps shooting teams, like, whoa, what's that? So when I got back to my room, I went on YouTube and tried to figure out what it was. And I remember seeing James Gill on that Three Gun Nation, I think it was like New Blood episode.
Yep.
Yeah.
They were down in like St. Augustine, Florida, and he was battling it out. And for those of you who don't know James Gill, we've mentioned him quite a bit now.
Yeah.
So he was in a scout sniper platoon back in, I think, 2004. I think it was 2006. He was deployed to Afghanistan. I can't remember exactly. Him and I have talked about it. I don't remember. I feel like an asshole. It's okay. But he lost a leg. He lost an eye. He decided he wanted to stay in the Marine Corps. He did his rehabilitation, and he was able to come over here to the team, staying in the Marine Corps and doing what he loves. Mm-hmm. Probably one of the most phenomenal individuals I've met on the competition circuit, and probably one of the best shooters in the world. Even given, like, he's faster than people who have both eyes, both legs. Like, the guy's just a monster.
Yeah. But yeah, so I remember watching him like, oh wow, that Marine Corps shooting team seems pretty cool. And then just throughout kind of TBS, MOS school, I got a little bit more into shooting, just like everybody else kind of grew up shooting guns. And then when I got to my first duty station, they needed a firing officer for like the local base competition, and I was like the brand new lieutenant. So they put me on that. Shot some Marine Corps matches. Shot one of those old bullseye style competition.
Boring.
It was still a good time overall. I mean,
Hey,
we've changed things a little bit.
I will say this, like, when I came to the team, I went to the bullseye pistol team.
Yeah.
Not exactly where I wanted to go, but, bloom where you're planted, all that kind of stuff. I will say that made me a much better shooter and focus on trigger control and fundamentals like no other. Like, you're talking about extreme fundamentals. It's a very difficult sport. It takes a different mindset and a different type of human being to do something like that.
And then this is where we've had many car rides where we differ on this. Like, I don't think that you need to start in that realm to be able to go shoot.
I will agree.
Action sports.
I will agree.
Yeah.
It's if that is all you have to do, focus on doing that, and then there will be some type of translation down the road.
Yeah. But so I shot one of those our older style of matches. I screwed up, so I didn't medal, and that opened up the opportunity to shoot. Then they called it the combat shooting matches. It was like a 1 week 3-gun match. He shot all stock weapons, and ended up doing well there. So I got an invite to come to the combat shooting championship in Quantico. Ended up doing well there, and they picked me up as a summer augment. So I spent summer of 2016 as a at one point newly promoted first lieutenant. I was like young lieutenant.
No responsibility, best job in the world.
It was pretty amazing.
All he did was go to the range and shoot.
And still conducted myself like an officer would. And the burden of being a commissioned officer in the United States Marine Corps. And shooting a lot. Having
fun doing it.
It was a great time.
I mean,
it was an awesome summer.
You not only have fun, but you learn a lot of skills, which most people think, oh, you got to go to the range. I have to go to the range. This is going to suck. No. Time here, and the way shooting should be, it's fun. Mm-hmm. You go out every day with a smile on your face, putting rounds down range. There's no better way to live a life.
Yeah, the Marine Corps does a good job of taking the fun out of a lot of things, including shooting for standard quals, but we've got it pretty good here. So, yeah, I spent the summer on the summer team. Got to travel around the country a little bit, which was a lot of fun. Really ignited a passion for 3-gun. And went back to San Diego, finished out my time there as an MP, and just kept shooting the whole time. I was a single dude with no life outside of work. So I just shot on the weekends and shot a lot of matches, built up some experience, and then in a position opened at the shooting team. And so I came over to the shooting team as one of the OICs of, the OIC of the pistol and action team. So kind of more the traditional route. And we have a couple different routes to come to the team because it's not everybody can be so lucky to I got super lucky that they just told me to go to it.
We have guys on the team now that, Staff Sergeant Go King, for instance.
Yeah.
We found him on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, who would have thought, he tagged us on Instagram. We watched his videos. We were like, oh, this guy's really good.
Yeah, super good.
And we kept following him. We tried getting him to the team sooner, but he had to fulfill his time on station requirements. Once those requirements came up, he had a package ready to go. We were communicating with him, and he's here on the team now. He was a USPSA shooter primarily. We have him doing 3-gun. About to go to his first match, the Great Lakes 3-gun championship, and we're really excited to see what he can do for us. Another guy, Staff Sergeant Scott Rader.
Yeah.
I mean, I know all the 3-gunners know him, but they're probably wondering, where's Scott? Where's Scott? Well, he's shooting USPSA now.
Yeah.
And he's dominating in that sport. That's where his focus is. He's staff NCOIC of that team, but he had another non-traditional route as well. He happened to be shooting a match where the team was at and got to know the guys, and much like myself, got an invite to come out to the team, and here he is, thriving. So there's not just one set way to come to the team. We just started a new program on the team where we will come to your unit and we will train the instructors of your unit who can influence training. And that is another opportunity if we see the right skill level, and if we see the right type of character we're looking for. It's an opportunity for you to come out here and be a part of the team.
Yeah, we're always looking for good talent. It's hard to find Marines out there who are competing on their own. It's even harder to find Marines out there that compete on their own and are the right fit with the personality and being a good instructor and just a good person to be around on all these TAD trips. It takes a special kind of person.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to be stuck with somebody who just annoys the hell out of you, because it'll make it for a really bad time.
I mean, we all can sometimes get on each other's nerves towards the end of the trips.
You do not travel well, I will say that.
Only towards the end.
Mm-hmm.
Turn into a little bit of a backseat driver.
Usually long drives back, he's yelling.
I don't know about yelling. But you guys do make me drive the final stretch, so that way I can't be super critical of everybody else's driving.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Kind of taking a different path now.
Yeah.
For those listeners who do shoot and everything, I mean, you've made a name for yourself. A lot of people in the 3-gun community know who you are, even USPSA, even though there was that one episode on whatever podcast it was like, who's Chris Scott? Oh, I think he's on the Marine Corps shooting team.
Yeah.
But just to help people out, when you go on a stage, how do you prepare for that stage?
So there's this is assuming that you have a squad of a decent size, but if you're on deck or in the hole, you're focusing on your stage, you're not resetting. That being said, if you're at a local match and there's 5 people on your squad, yes, you are resetting, and you're probably running the tablet in a time or two. But I'll try to have a good time, joke around until I start getting close to that point, and then I will keep running the stage through my head. I'll turn off my electronic hearing protection because I don't want to hear anybody else, so I'll turn it off once I'm in the hole.
He gets upset when I come up and say something to him.
Like when I'm in the on-deck shooter about to go and you're telling me something, yeah, sometimes I'll try to just ignore you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'll turn off my electronic hearing protection when I'm in the hole, which means I'm 2 shooters down. and I'll just keep running the stage through over and over in my head. And then when I'm on the on-deck shooter, I have everything ready, like everything's prepped, and I'll run through that stage actually on foot, like 2 to 3 times, if it's a short enough stage where I can do that. Then I'll stage my weapons and just keep running the stage over and over in my head to try and make it subconscious. And when I'm like making ready with my pistol or drawing my weapon, I'll get one last sight picture. I'll actually draw the pistol like I'm actually going to draw it to shoot, so I get one more good prep draw stroke. And then just stand there and wait for the fun to begin.
That's a lot of good information. Like, I never knew how to prep myself before stage, but after like watching guys like you, Andy Brown, Staff Sergeant Rader, Staff Sergeant Loreno, even Sergeant Galamba, it's like I've picked up a lot just by watching how you guys conduct yourselves. And I mean, that's one of the things, the benefits of having a team.
Yeah.
You know, we train together. We know each other's strengths. We know each other's weaknesses. If we see somebody about to do something on a stage, or they're planning their stage, we'll ask them, hey, how do you plan on hitting these targets? They'll talk to us, and, well, I'm going to do it like this. Well, I don't think that's good. I've seen how you shoot with this gun here. I would probably use this gun to attack these targets. Just, it's a sanity check to help each other out and make sure we don't screw up.
Yeah, it's a ton of fun with all that stage walking to be able to bounce plans off of people. And then also, like, I don't know about you, but I go crazy if I try and be in the zone the whole match, especially like when you're out on the range all day.
You just are mentally exhausted by the end of it.
Yeah, so you gotta like.
You have to loosen up a bit.
Yeah, you had that like. This is another inside joke here, but Gunny was on Shooting USA, and they had an interview, and it looked like he got kind of caught a little off guard, and he said like, it's a job, you got to keep it lighthearted.
Yep.
And we make that joke a lot, but like you do got to keep it lighthearted. You got to be out there joking around, having fun with the guys, because I personally shoot a lot better when I'm actually having fun. And like some people say, well, winning's fun. Yeah, okay, but like being out there with a whole bunch of people you like and get to work with and have the best job in the world, that's fun too. So like enjoy it, embrace the moment, and like don't get so serious all the time.
If you're so serious to where you're not having fun, why are you out there? What are you trying to prove at that point? And we used to be very different people. Even last year, 2 years ago, a couple years ago, you shot the Delmarva match the day before me. And I remember going up to the stage, whenever I was shooting it the next day. And I was shooting with like Darren from Red Stitch Targets, and a couple other guys. My father-in-law was there. And, I was in a different environment. I was just out there having fun with friends. You and Staff Sergeant Rader, from what I heard from one of the ROs, I tried talking to them, but they just seemed so serious and they just wouldn't talk at all. I was like, they were probably in the zone. But I mean, now us all going out together, it's completely different. We'll have fun on a stage, and it's usually, like Capt Scott said, right before you're the on-deck shooter, or if you're the on-deck or in the hole, then that's when it's game time. That's whenever you have to kind of just get your mind right and focus on what you're about to do.
Yeah, you also want to make sure, we go out as a team, that you're available to help people with stage plans or help people if they need it. And, like, there's obviously a balance there, because you could be going and grabbing people's guns and, like, walking through stage plans until, like, you're on the line. You do want to leave a little bit of time for yourself, but you need to be able to be like available there for your teammates if they need you.
And not only your teammates, but there's other people that are not on your team who are shooting, and they're, some of them, they haven't experienced anything like that or shot with a large team like us before, so they're like, oh, these guys know what they're doing, and they'll ask you questions, and you don't ever want to set anybody up for failure.
Yeah.
You want to help them out, because at the end of the day, it's all about having fun and helping each other out. And you make friends everywhere, and you don't know who they may be. To you, they're James. to somebody else, that's their CEO.
Yeah.
So you make connections everywhere you go for somebody that could potentially help you out in the future.
Yeah, didn't we shoot CO Stag Arms?
Yeah.
At the Wyoming Governors match one year?
We did.
Yeah.
Chad Larson. And I mean,
really good names also, by the way.
well, I shot with him again this past year out in
Okay.
Texas. I didn't even know he was going to be on the squad, but it was me, him, Forrest Lathrop, James Gill, and we all had a blast. And it was a torrential downpour. We ran through a river. I probably had 18 inches of mud on my pants. It was a good time. But you prepare for the worst. But no, it's great people. Good time being with each other as well.
Is there anything that you do? The prep, you said you've kind of built it up over the years.
Yeah. So I kind of take the approach that you do nowadays. I used to be that guy that just stayed so mentally focused the entire time.
Yeah.
To where by the end of the day, I was just mentally exhausted. And I wasn't having fun at that point, and I needed longer breaks in between like competitions, and you don't always get that opportunity. So by the end of a season, you're just mentally drained.
Yeah, definitely.
But nowadays, I go out there. Whenever we first show up to a match, I'll be like, all right, I'm just gonna look at the first 3 stages that we're shooting, or the first 3 to 4 stages we're shooting. I'll get a general idea of how the stage plan is supposed to be. I'm not going to be dead set and stuck on one specific stage plan, because then it's going to be harder for me to think of another way of doing it. So then game day, during the 5-minute walkthrough, that's whenever I finalize that plan. And then during the walkthrough, I'll just walk through sometimes at speed of how I'm going to do it. Yeah. And then once the walkthrough is over, I will just mentally go through the process in my head. That way it's just imprinted. But then I just, cut up with the guys, have a good time, talk to people. Then whenever I'm the on-deck shooter, it's back into, let me walk through this process mentally. And don't get caught up in watching what other people do, because other people are going to be playing on their strengths. Mm-hmm. Go off of what your strengths are. And I think I was at the Wisconsin match. I think I was pretty good about that, because I think it was our last stage of the day on day 1. Everybody was attacking that one target offhand. And it was like a small, like 10-inch steel plate out probably around 120 yards. And I was like, I don't want to be taking makeup shots and taking too much time. And we saw some people struggling. They decided that's what they were going to do. They were going to take an offhand shot, and they just went to battle with that target.
Yeah, I mean, I think I shot 3 or 4 rounds of that thing.
Whereas what I did is I hit the paper to the left and to the right, moved up, hit the plate rack, 1 for 1 on the plate rack, 1 for 1 on each of those swinger targets. I moved to the second shooting position. It was a supported position. Went 1 for 1 with that one target that everybody went to battle with. Dump rifle, drew pistol, and I went on my way. And I knew that I would probably struggle with that offhand shot, so I played to my strength, just got in a supported position, and moved on.
Yeah.
And that's what training is for you to figure out what your strengths and weaknesses are. Speaking of matches, recently, what was your most favorite match that you've shot?
Oh, it's a tough one. We this year we've been busy, especially June. I mean, we shot
three big matches
in like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun, first of all, but that was busy. I really had fun at the Nordic Vortex Trigun. I really had fun at all of them. But it was cool. I'm from Minnesota. The match is in Minnesota, so I got to stay with my family. They got to come out and watch me at the match. It was pretty neat, pretty special. And then I also had a lot of fun. We shot the Trigicon 3-man 3-gun.
IWI 3-man 3-gun.
I did that. Did that last time we recorded this podcast too. But
sorry, Jeremy.
The IWI 3-man 3-gun, where we shot the IWI Galil, the second gen or something. I don't know the details. It was full auto. It was fun. With an OSS suppressor on it. Huh? Right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nailed it. Okay. So anyways, no, that was Mid-Atlantic Multi-Gun Challenge or Championship.
Yeah, you're right.
Man,
that was Mid-Atlantic.
I was so proud of myself too. Okay, anyways, so shooting the 3-man 3-gun match, it's a lot of fun to be able to shoot side by side with people at the same time. And we had been on a streak of getting second place, so we were able to finally pull off a first place finish, which was pretty neat, pretty special experience. So that was a lot of fun. In another way.
Yeah, no. For me, recently, I'd say Wisconsin was probably one of the most fun matches I've been to.
Yeah.
I like shooting with people outside of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Texas was a lot of fun. Getting to see people that I haven't seen in a while was a lot of fun, but I wasn't doing that with the shooting team. Being with the team, it's something a little bit more special to me because you're with a bunch of guys who have the same mindset, same background, same desires, and you all train together and you all want to put the same stages together. And whenever we went to Wisconsin, it was all business, it was all fun, and no drama. Just like even the guys who weren't with the team, they had the same exact mindset.
Yeah.
It was just truly a really good time. We got to shoot with Ian Norris. If you don't know Ian, him and I served together back in 2005. Last year, we met again for the first time since 2005 at Peacemaker National Training Center at one of the IWI multi-gun matches that they held there.
And super cool guy.
Yeah. And he was wearing a 3rd Battalion 2nd Marine shirt, and I was like, hold on one second, you were Kilo Company, right? He was like, yeah. I was like, you were weapons platoon, you were a machine gunner, weren't you? He's like, yeah, man, how do you know that? I was like, dude, I was Kilo Company 2nd Platoon, and it was just like, oh shit. And like we started talking about like the deployment, and like, at that point, like we had pictures of each other, and it was just really cool. And we shot again at Memorial 3-gun last year. And he was on our squad, and at Wisconsin he was on our squad again, and it was like, I retire next year, and I was like, hey dude, next year when I retire, we're going to be traveling buddies. Let's go to matches together, like figure out our schedules, figure out training, and let's just go out and do this together. It makes it a lot cheaper too, like when you have to pay for your own hotel rooms and gas money and all that kind of stuff. Just finding somebody who's like-minded helps monetarily too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you really make a lot of friends shooting these sports.
Oh, absolutely. But Wisconsin was probably one of my more favorite recent experiences. And again, like you, IWI 3-man 3-gun. Last year that was a blast. This year it was a little bit more special because we had Major O'Driscoll out with us, and he was the shooting team OIC, and last year he took over as our OPSO, and this year, about a week after 3-man 3-gun, he PCS'd out to California. And so I approached him earlier in the year. I was like, hey sir, I know you've done 2-gun. I know you're big into USPSA, but you haven't done a 3-gun match yet. Like, you want to come out to 3-man 3-gun with us? And he was like, I would absolutely love to go out with you guys. And so he did, and he has like almost zero experience shooting a shotgun. This was, he shot one of the IWI multi-gun matches at Peacemaker. That was his first match ever shooting a 3-gun. And he was just like, oh man, I'm in over my head. And then he shot 3-man 3-gun, and me, him, and Kelsey, Derek, we were all on a team together, and it was just like, hey, I know I'm strong with the rifle. Sir, I know you're strong with the pistol. Kelsey, you're strong with the shotgun. I was like, let's attack the stage like this. And so, again, we played to our strengths, and we were pretty successful out there.
Yeah, you guys had a pretty good finish. What was it again?
I want to say it was 17th, maybe?
Okay.
13th? I don't remember exactly.
For the guy's second 3-gun match, first big one ever. And another guy who not shot 3-gun for a couple of years. Year and a half, a couple of years, yeah.
About a year and a half.
Yeah.
It was a good time, and I mean that's what's cool about this team, because even though you leave the team, you still keep in contact with the guys on the team. So there's opportunity to go out there and shoot a match with former teams guys again, and so it's like a brotherhood.
It's one of the, and we're trying not to keep it a best kept secret, but it's like one of the best kept secrets in the Marine Corps that this can be your job for 3 years, and it's a ton of good people that work here. Yeah, you'll make lifelong friendships. It's pretty great.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm never talking to anybody from here when I leave, but I heard other people.
Well, you go back to Arizona. You have fun out there in the hot heat. I'll stay here in Virginia.
Humidity.
I'll deal with it. There's good jobs around here.
There are. Yeah.
What's your, we talk about the 3 different guns and everything. I know personally my favorite gun is a pistol. Kind of, I didn't think it would be after spending 2 years on the Bullseye team, but it turns out it's like one of my favorites. What's yours?
I mean, that's a tough question to answer. We were out yesterday just shooting the shotgun. I had a ton of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Doing like quad load races, like throwing up clays and shooting them. It was a blast. But I'd have to go with pistol. Just like you. I mean, I love the pistol aspect of 3-gun. I think you can separate yourself quite a bit if you get good at shooting it. And shot a decent amount of USPSA too. And I really enjoy that sport. So I love the interaction you have with it, like how any little movement with the pistol makes a big impact downrange. And it's just super fun to practice with.
It's one of those things where it's a perishable skill.
Mm-hmm.
You put it down for a little bit, and you're going to have to learn a lot again. That's a fun aspect to it, because are you really ever going to be truly a master of that specific gun? No, you're not. Once you stop learning, then you've kind of failed yourself. So it's a matter of, picking it up every time and then teaching yourself again, or building on what you've already taught yourself. It's just real fun, in my opinion. Being able to transition fast between targets, hitting steel out to distance. We'll take the pistol and we'll shoot targets, 50 yards. That's about a norm at a match. There will be a few targets out there that'll be 50 yards away. I think at Wisconsin, though, they stuck a target out there at 200.
Yeah. I never shot that far in a match before.
No, that was an odd experience, and it turns into one of those things that, well, that could technically be a bonus target, and it turns into a target that you need to hit, because if somebody else hit it, then you need to hit it to stay ahead of them.
Yeah, and I mean there's a pretty hefty penalty.
It's a 20-second penalty if you don't hit it.
I don't know. I just thought, like, going through my mind, like, oh crap, and like second, third shot, like, I really hope it hits sometime soon. And
I shot 8 shots at it and I moved on. I was like, nope, not happening. You know what? I'll make it. I think I made it up shooting the rifle, which, like, the rifle, that's one of my favorite. I love all 3 guns. Yeah. I love the aspect of quad loading, because it's something you don't do ever. But rifle, like, when you're on fire with rifle and you can just burn through long range, like, you're dope, and it's a good time. But pistol kind of takes it all, because you can be really fast and really accurate if you know what you're doing. But
and the guns are cool. Like a 2011, that is just a sweet pistol. Or the guys down at PWS, we have like
our gunsmiths, our precision weapon section.
Yeah, they built us nobody really uses Caspians anymore, but we have a bunch of frames, and they built some pretty awesome Caspian wide body 1911s. They're not technically a 2011, but high capacity 1911 and 9mm. They built some pretty sweet guns down there.
Those
and they're
things
fun
are
to
hammers.
shoot.
Yeah, they're hammers. And the guys do really good with them for those that decided to shoot. We have some guys who shoot the M18s, or what we have is the Legion X5s.
Mm-hmm.
And they're rocking with those too. But that's all I really have today. Is there anything you want to leave the audience with?
I guess it'll be my turn to ask some questions. So
Oh.
kind of going off script here.
Uh-huh.
Heard about Gunnery Sergeant Gundlach, but what about Matt Gundlach? So, like, what do you like to do in your free time? Like, I know both of our hobbies were shooting and shooting competitions, and then we came like, okay, that's your job now.
Yeah.
So we've been trying to find other hobbies. Like, what do you like to do as your new hobbies?
Well, I've kind of picked up the photography thing. I've dabbled with it some.
Yeah.
I'm learning from Darren, so that's just something I'm trying to have fun with. Like, just something different. Keeps me in the house with the family. Another thing I like to do is I like to play on my tractor. My daughter loves it just as much.
That video you sent me of you chasing her on the tractor, she didn't seem to love that.
No, she didn't. I got in a lot of trouble with that. But I placed her on the back seat of the backhoe once, and we have this trail that goes out behind the yard and everything. And so I had her back there. There's no safety belt or anything. I should have probably done some type of internal ORM. And all I told her was, hold on tight. And I just beelined it in the tractor. Next thing you know, I hit a rut. I'm bouncing all over the place, and I'm thinking, oh shit. I look back, and she has the hugest smile on her face, and she's like, Daddy, can we do that again? I'm like, no. And don't tell your mom about this. So I've messing with the tractor, doing the photography stuff. That's kind of what I spend a lot of my time doing. Another thing I do now is I just bought a house last year, and one of the neighbors, he happened to have been a Navy shooting guy back in the 90s, and so
Actually, I'm sure you told me. I forgot he was a Navy shooting guy.
yeah. And one of his other buddies, Nick Mowry, he was a Navy shooting team guy back in the early 90s. And so we'll get together on my neighbor's land, and we'll go shoot. We have over 700 yards to play with. But he owns a farm and everything, so I'm like an extra farmhand now. Hey, Matt, what you doing this weekend? Well, I planned on spending time with the family. Well, I need some help with the hay. Can you come over? Yeah, Lynn, I'll come over. Let's get this over with. 4 hours later, 105 degrees. About to die of heat exhaustion, and I'm going home.
Yeah, you've come into work looking pretty red from the sun.
Yep.
Yeah.
How about yourself? What do you do in your free time now?
Yeah, so, I mean, my whole life used to be shooting, and now I've had to find something new. So, just got married recently, so doing the newlywed thing and spending like a ton of time together and
That's
being
important.
all lovey-dovey and all that stuff.
Your sweet desert rose.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. She is. Yeah, so we bought a bus together. So that's how we knew it was serious. So we bought a little short bus together. Won't make any jokes about that on this podcast, but we're converting into a camper, just like all the people on Instagram. It's coming super slow. I have like no prior carpentry skills or
But you're learning.
any skills. Yeah, but I'm learning. It's a lot of fun. So we're kind of doing that together. We got into mountain biking. She was always into it.
Well, she's fit.
Yeah. She unfortunately just tore her ACL. It's hanging on by a couple threads that she needs surgery. So I'm gaining on her in the mountain biking realm now. When she's down, now's my time to shine.
She's still a better soccer player than you, though.
Oh yeah, and she's a better mountain biker too. So yeah.
She's just all around better than you.
Yeah, I mean, I can't argue that. Doubt she's gonna listen to this, but I mean, yeah. Mountain biking, working on the bus. I also have an old van. that I was going to convert into a camper. So driving that thing around.
If anybody's interested in buying a van that's been converted,
Kind of converted.
just
Yeah.
reach out to us and we'll give you the details on it.
Yeah, Karina, that's my wife's name. Her and I came to the conclusion that I'm going to sell the van. So,
She came to the conclusion he did not.
sometime in the future, she likes it still. But, yeah, so, if you're looking to buy a 1990 Chevy van, I know a guy, and that might be willing to cut you a good deal.
Just let them know that you listen to this podcast and we might be willing.
Use discount code 3GIQ.
Yes.
10. There we go. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing for fun when I'm just Chris Scott, when I'm not Captain Chris Scott.
Mm-hmm.
On my off time.
Yeah, I see that glare. But
Yeah.
I think that kind of wraps everything up. We hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, whether it's marksmanship related, Marine Corps shooting team, want the team to come out to help out train, or if you have any questions about the marksmanship competitions that are going to be upcoming, let us know. On that note, have a good day.
Thanks, had a ton of fun.